Now we're going to head straight over to Basel, where we are joined by talkSPORT's voice of football, Adrian Durham, and Lioness legend Tash Dowie, who are out there with all the very latest from Basel. I've just got to ask you, Adrian, because I know that you're a football shirt-wearing legend. I don't know if you've just heard, but Rory has been throwing shade on any grown adult that wears a football shirt. Can you settle this debate for us? Because I was slightly unnerved by how much support Rory Jennings was getting for the first time in his life.
Well, it depends where you wear it. I mean, if you wear it to a family function, that's an absolute no-no.
Yeah.
If you wear it to a game, definitely not. If you wear it in bed, absolutely spot on. Yeah.
Thank you for the final word there. Right, guys, I mean, where do we start? I mean, the Lionesses, Adrian, you said this, sort of that they frustrate us, they've angered us, but you cannot help but be filled with joy and anticipation that they can just come back from anything. So how do you rate their chances going into this?
I'm actually feeling really positive about it, and it's only when I really think about how good Spain are and the little passages of play they have, even when they're not playing particularly well, that you start to get worried. But I think there's a clash of styles coming in the final tomorrow here in Basel. I think then England will go long, Spain will play their normal tiki-taka, and I think that England might get some joy, because Germany had some joy the other night. I was at that semi-final in Zurich. They had some joy going long, but they just didn't finish their chances, and Spain struggled against a good side. England haven't been playing particularly well in every game, but they are still a good side. So it's normally close when Spain and England meet, and the heart might be ruling the head a bit, but I'm going England with their direct style to beat Spain.
Tash, can I ask you, do you think that there's any element in this England squad of dreaming about revenge? Obviously, the last time we met in a final against this same opposition in 2023, we got beat. Do you feel like there'll be any dream of maybe exercising the demons of that night, or do you think this is a game in total isolation? They'll be fully focused on it simply for what it means on the night?
No. Yeah, I think there will be revenge, absolutely. And I think in an interview with Bon Mati, she said the same with regards to when they got knocked out by England and they wanted the revenge and they got it in the World Cup. So, yeah, full focus will be on tomorrow's game, and England will be focusing on themselves and how they can beat the Spanish team. But that game would have hurt. It's a huge game to have lost, and they will. Absolutely. I think if I put myself in the players' shoes, I would want revenge. And let's hope that we see an angry England, a top performance right from the off. Yeah, I expect to see that.
Look, I'm very hesitant to be critical of Sarina Wiegman because just of what she's achieved and how she manages to get this team to achieve things that we don't think that they can do. But one thing that I think a criticism that has been levelled at her is that she's been very conservative with her starting 11. Now, we know that, you know, there's potential, sort of Lauren James is potentially a doubt, and of course you look at Chloe Kelly, who's just been this enigma, cult icon, game after game, changing games, of course Michelle Adjumang as well. Where do you stand in terms of how Sarina will set up for the starting 11? Can you see any changes possible?
No, I think it'll be the same that started the semi-final. It was touch and go with Lauren James, but I think she came through training today, so I believe she will start. I actually asked Sarina Wiegman about, what goes through her head in those moments, when they're 1-0 down and about to go out, and she said, she, before the tournament even started, she selected a 23. She knows the players that ideally she wants to play. She knows their strengths and weaknesses. They speak about it during the camp, all the way through, during the game, all the time. She knows the impact that certain players can play. So there is a logic behind it, and she does say in moments there's that instinctive feeling that she gets where, I guess she works her magic, and pretty much 10 times out of 10 it works. So I think as fans now tomorrow we can relax, and she has a plan, and so far it's worked, and hopefully it works again tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, Tash. Adrian, can I get your thoughts on this? Yes, we're in a final, it's wonderful news, and fingers crossed we can make it happen. But if we're totally frank, we've limped along the way and rode our luck at times. Do you think, or have you seen, you've been at every England game I believe, have you seen enough to think that we can pull it out the bag and actually put in a performance that is worthy of winning a tournament, because we won't be able to ride our luck against such a brilliant Spanish side?
Well, we were brilliant against the Netherlands, who are a good side. They may not have played very well, but England was sensational, really put them to bed that night. And we are due a good game. Yeah, we beat Wales, but that wasn't really a test. It was a training exercise. And since then, quarter-final, semi-final, England have not played well at all. They are due a good game. I'm just listening to Tash saying there that the fans can relax. We cannot relax. No way with this England side can we relax at all. But I think that they are due a good game, and I think that's significant because they know they didn't play well. Yes, they've got through, and we can all say in Serena we trust. And you might say, yeah, well, her substitutions have worked. She might point to that. However, was it by luck? Was it the players getting her out of a bit of trouble? Did she make those substitutions too late but just got lucky? So I think there's questions to be asked there. But you know what? If she goes and wins the tournament, who can possibly question Serena Wiegmann with the record she's got?
Yeah, well, I think the answer to that is absolutely nobody. I mean, on the final, of course, it's Spain who seem to have England's number in some big games recently, but I must admit, when I watched Spain-Germany, I wanted Germany to win, partly because of that, because of the world-class players in that Spain team, and partly because I wanted to see an England-Germany final. I think that's always just going to be blockbuster. But do you think there'll be any semblance of sort of extra hope that the Lionesses will have got, Tash, from watching Spain have to struggle for that, have to play those extra minutes in extra time, and maybe there'll be that psychological advantage that they've got that day's extra rest as well?
Yeah, that's huge. I think we talk about the 1% in football, and that's a huge 1%, that extra day recovery that England need to make the most of. And I also think there are weaknesses in this Spanish team. There's not many, but I think if you look at the pace of the two centre-halves, I think that's definitely something Germany exploited. You know, Buell should have scored. There was many a times where they just went direct and they struggled, and I think that's an area that England can really hurt them. I spoke about it. I would love to see a Lauren Hemp and a James come infield a bit more, rather than go 1v1 down the line. Actually drive infield and look to combine with Russo and actually support Russo a bit more, because I think with her clever movement in behind those two centre-halves, with Toon potentially making those third-man runs, you could really hurt this Spanish team.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I think about Alessia Russo is just the work rate, and I think she's paved the way for the likes of Adjiman to come on and score goals because she's such a nuisance to defenders. Just finally, because we're going to be talking about this later in the show, Adrian, about refereeing and VAR, how would you assess sort of VAR and on-field officiating in this tournament? There's been lots of chat about IFAB bringing in or taking away rebounds from penalties. I mean, how has it been during the tournament so far?
Well, given Chloe Kelly's rebounds against Italy from the penalty, they definitely should not implement that rule. Everybody knows I'm not a big VAR fan, and I go back to the very first game against France when Alessia Russo's goal was ruled out for offside, and still I'm getting tired of people saying offside is offside. Have a look at that, and I just can't, I cannot see it. It's like they're looking for a reason to rule it out. Those are the kind of things that IFAB need to be looking at, that PJMOL should be looking at. Those are the kind of decisions, those marginal offsides where you're not getting an advantage. Have a look at the rule, have a look at the interpretation of the rule. But to be honest with you, I just can't ever, I won't ever be a fan of VAR. It's been here, 6 years in the English game? I'm not having it at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listening share that sentiment as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's Adrian Durham, talkSPORT's very own voice of football, and former Lioness Tash Dowie, who will be on commentary duty for that epic final, Women's Euros final, England-Spain, live on talkSPORT. But tomorrow, talkSPORT is going to be in full Lioness mode. Ollie Klink and Leanne Sanderson will be soaking up the atmosphere from Box Park, Wembley, between 2 and 4. Then it's over to the team in Barnsley for live coverage. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. Right.